It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Even though you're kidnapped with chloroform and kept hostage in the basement of some old house and then have that person try to overthrow the soon-to-be queen, you're off the hook.
All is forgiven. It's fine.
As that was happening, I was like, this is not real life. What is happening here?
Oh, is that the point where you thought this isn't real life? Not when the setting was Belgravia or Montanaro?
Okay.
Sarah's like, oh no, she would go to jail for that, for sure. This is so unrealistic, guys. I can't believe it.
Oh my god. Yes, actually, this is the point in
That's
the movie.
where we lost you. Okay.
I was totally following along that everything, I believed that these places were real.
Right.
I was really into the movie, and then this happened. I was like, what?
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Devin.
and like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And if you're here, you probably love romantic comedies. We do too.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
The Princess Switch 2 switched again.
Wow, we nailed that.
We did.
And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please follow so that you're updated on new episodes. At Romcom Rewind on Instagram, we have a lot of fun conversations there, so you can throw us a follow. And as well, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or leave a review.
So today we have a review from Everything Fell. Love this podcast. Devin and Sarah are fun and super enjoyable to listen to. Love the fun facts. Thank you so much.
That's so nice. Thank you. We love hearing those. So, The Princess Switch. This is really like a quick recap of The Princess Switch.
The first one.
And then we're doing The Princess Switch 2, Switched Again. These are a pair of Netflix's Christmas-themed romantic comedies, which they are diving deeply into right now.
They are, yes. They're coming out with quite a few of them.
Yeah, this is directed by Michael Rawl. If you want to know an overarching vibe for this guy worked on Smallville.
Oh.
Yeah. Supernatural as well, he worked on.
Stop it.
Oh, you know what? Let me go
now.
through the other stuff that he does, because maybe you like some of the, because it's a lot of those random, like this was probably a teen fiction book at some point, and there's like 2 seasons of a show now. Shadowhunters?
Yes, I read all the books.
Are you serious? Oh no. I don't know if we
You know what though, the show
might be embarrassing for you.
wasn't as good as the books. I mean, nothing ever is usually. There was a lot of cheese in the show versus the books.
Oh.
The books were better.
And he kept the cheese going with the Princess Switch. But there's
Yes.
also Helix. Do you know what that is?
I think I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay, Primeval, New World.
No.
Haven, Defying Gravity.
I've heard of Haven.
Okay, Impact.
No. No.
Andromeda. I feel like that was popular, actually.
Yes,
Andromeda.
it was. Yes, I think my dad used to watch that.
The Princess Switch, Switched Again, just came out. And that is likely why you are here and listening to us. But we're quickly going to cruise through the first movie just to get our story straight. So The Princess Switch is the story of Stacy DeNovo, played by Vanessa Hudgens. She's kind of like an uptight baker from Chicago who gets convinced by her bakery co-owner Kevin, played by Nick Sager, to go into this baking competition with him over the holidays. That competition is happening where?
In Belgravia.
Where is that?
It's a make-believe thing it's a make-believe place like Genovia.
Is Genovia real or fake?
Genovia is a fake place. It was in the Princess Diaries.
Oh, God. Yes, yeah, but it's exactly like that.
The country of Genovia.
Everybody's got a British accent, but we don't really understand where it
Yeah.
is. It's okay. So while they're there, Stacy runs into somebody named Margaret Delacour, the Duchess of Montanaro, played by also Vanessa Hudgens. I feel like if you're not familiar, you get where this is going. It's a body swap game, everybody.
Who are you?
Lady Margaret Delacour, Duchess of Montanaro.
Stacy DeNovo.
I think we were destined to run into each other. I'm supposed to marry Prince Edward on New Year's Day, but I hate being in the spotlight. I want to get to know what it's like to be a normal girl. I want to switch places with you.
Switch places?
I become you, and you become me. Get out.
So Margaret isn't really vibing with her planned marriage with Prince Edward. I think he's the Prince of Belgravia. Anyways, she wants to live the simple life. So Margaret and Stacy, realizing, hey, we look exactly the same, played by the same actress, let's swap places. You can live the simple life and you can be a baker. Meanwhile, Stacy can just swoon over this prince and live in a castle for a few days. So that's the trajectory of the first movie. Honestly, I was expecting worse. Like a lot worse.
I like it.
Vanessa Hudgens isn't a bad actress.
Yeah, no, she's not. I like her.
It had a tiny little bit more finesse than I was expecting. Like, I feel like a lot of people are watching those Hallmark movies right now.
Whoop, whoop.
It's a little bit more well done than that. It does get into all the classic tropes.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a few down. We have a knowing old man who talks about magical wishes coming true at Christmas.
The magic of Christmas.
Christmas is a magical time of year.
I just wish I had someone to spend it with.
Christmas wishes have been known to come true.
You need to have the magical old guy.
You do.
Stacy, right off the top, she's been broken up with and she needs to move on. So we have a character, she's a little bit neurotic about her itinerary. And then the contrast is Margaret, who just wants to have fun. We have a Duchess.
Spontaneous, yeah.
We have a Duchess, we have a Prince, we have a wedding, there's a bakery rivalry, there's a hair glamp-up scene, Christmas arts and crafts, poor British accents.
I didn't think it was that bad.
It got better than the second one.
Oh, I liked it. I really liked it. It was definitely more rom-com, like more romantic parts of it. It's better than all the Hallmark movies that I watch that you dislike so much.
You know what? You're listening to this probably thinking, Devin's lost it. The Princess Switch, not that bad, really? Maybe the Christmas spirit has gotten to me. Maybe because we've all been struggling in 2020, and how dare I shoot something down that makes people happy, even if it is like I think of this movie like Kraft Dinner. It's like, you know what it's going to taste like. You can change it up however you like, but it's always kind of going to taste the same. And it's almost like weirdly comforting that it's always going to taste the same.
You know the ending. You know it's more than likely going to be happy, and that everyone's going to end up with who they're supposed to end up with.
Yeah.
Or just how it's supposed to end up at the end. It's a good feeling.
This mood will probably last for all of 1 week until we get to the Hallmark Christmas rom-coms next week. But this wasn't actually that bad. It was a pretty good watch. A few things I noticed. It took exactly 11 minutes for the two main characters to meet, Stacy and Margaret.
Okay.
I just thought it was interesting that they are like, we are getting to the plot so fast. And maybe it's because this guy just does all those teen fiction TV shows that he's like, oh.
Well, he only has 40 minutes to get it, to do it all.
Sometimes 22 minutes.
Yeah.
So he's like, let's get to the point very quickly. So I appreciated that. It took 15 minutes to explain the princess switching plot.
That was good, though. There was they had to pretend to walk the same, and the accents needed to be switched, and the hair needed to be cut.
The hair glamp up scene, of course.
Yeah. And the wardrobe change and that kind of thing.
And you're right in that, like, when it's just two love storylines, it's very easy to kind of build out these stories.
Mm-hmm.
In the first one,
it was clear,
I'm going to sound like such a moron, but I did actually believe that everybody who was falling in love really loved each other. Is that stupid to say about this movie?
You liked this movie.
What was another movie we did where I didn't believe it? Oh, The Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. This movie did a better job at telling a love story than The Bounty Hunter. That's bad.
Yes. Yeah, but it had the Christmas spirit, the Christmas magic,
spirit,
that kind of amps it up.
So you probably guessed everybody ends up with who they're supposed to end up with. At the end of Princess Switch, Margaret Delacour ends up with Kevin the baker, and Stacy the baker ends up with Edward the prince, and kind of all is well in the world. Now we come back for the sequel. Margaret and Kevin have split. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Margaret is becoming the queen of Montenegro?
I'm Stacy, and this is Duchess Margaret. We met 2 years ago and changed each other's lives forever. I married Prince Edward, and Margaret dated my friend Kevin. They tried to make it work, but soon learned long distance is harder than it looks. Which brings me back.
She's having a tough time with it, though, so Stacy, Edward, and the ex, Kevin, show up to give her a hand.
With his daughter Olivia.
Sparks reignite with Kevin and Stacy, and Margaret decides, hey, let's princess switch places again.
I think it was Stacy's idea.
Yeah, you're right. It was Stacy's idea. So Margaret ends up having some alone time with Kevin. She swaps with Stacy. Meanwhile, Margaret's cousin Fiona shows up. Guess who plays Fiona?
Vanessa.
Vanessa Hudgens again. So now we got a three-way swap happening, and it causes anarchy. What are your thoughts about the second movie?
It's entertaining. It's cute. It's fun. It's another great family Christmas holiday movie that I think the whole family can enjoy. A few things that I had been reading said that it was very predictable, but I think we need to remember that this isn't like a complex, overly intelligent movie that's rated R or rated PG-13. It's a family children Christmas movie, so I think the predictability needed to be there.
What article said it was too predictable? It's
I
craft
can't
dinner,
even remember,
guys.
right?
You know what it's going to taste like.
Yeah, like, I mean, clearly these people had never seen a Hallmark movie because that's real predictable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I think it needed that fun-loving, easy-to-watch movie that the whole family can enjoy. And that's what it brought.
This one was a little bit more of a family movie in terms of, like you were saying, like the comedy was a little bit more. It was a little more slapsticky.
It was. Yes, it was.
I think you're going to dive into Fiona's lackeys later, but they were a little bit
my God.
They were a little bit eye-rolly, but it's like, if you're looking at like a parent with a young child and it's like you want to watch the romance, the kid wants to have a laugh. Sweet. Yeah. Princess switched again. Awesome.
Yeah.
These movies, once again, do a great job at teeing up everything very quickly. You're going to think I have a timer on while I'm watching these movies. I don't. But once again, it took exactly 11 minutes.
Oh my gosh, really?
Into this movie where we have Princess Margaret at her castle. And that moment is when we have what I would consider to be the mood-setting scene, where everybody's decking the halls.
Oh my God,
We have the classic Christmas castle glamp up.
Yeah.
In which, there are so many knowing looks from Kevin and Margaret, the ex-lovers. Literally, it's like something will happen, everybody will laugh, and they'll look at each other and just, aha, kind of the, oh. You're like, Jesus, I get it, guys. They're going to end up together. We all know, but there's some sexual tension in the air. Can I say that about this movie? It doesn't even feel like anybody in these movies has sex, but there was sexual tension.
Well, I think I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure Prince Edward wanted to get it on with Stacy a few times. He kept kind of saying like,
"Oh, that's right.
Why don't we just spend some time together?" I think that was like low key, like his own kind of like, let's get down and dirty.
Yeah, no, he definitely was. You're right. He was
kind
not
of the
so
whole
subtly
movie.
hinting
He
it.
was like, I was like, oh my God. She needs to stop with her charity work and get busy. So like you said, they deck the halls, et cetera, et cetera. Then they kind of say, oh, like we're all thirsty. Why don't we have hot chocolate? So Kevin and Margaret set off to make some hot chocolate. Don't you always love a good montage of, a paint fight or a food fight of some sort in a movie?
Because they fight with flour in this one.
So in this one, yeah. So I thought the flour fight was cute. Like it was a cute touch. But nowadays personally, I'm thinking like, wow, what a waste of flour when we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're in very short supply. Like that is the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, oh my God, they're using flour.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you should not be using flour. Oh my God, it fell and now you're fighting with it. Why
now
are
we're
you
wasting
doing
all
that?
the flour.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this far in the future, just to set the tone, it is the end of 2020, and we are
in COVID.
We are pushing our way through the midpoint of COVID. I hope it's the midpoint of COVID-19, but it's been rough, and flour has been a hot commodity.
It has. Okay, though, back to the whole montage of like a food fight or of a something type like cute little, oh my God, like, haha, like I'm gonna paint on your face. Yes, that's me pretending to be Vanessa Hudgens.
That was a really good read. Oh, yeah.
Well, in her like accent, right?
Oh,
okay, so for this cute,
I'm gonna just loop that. You sound kind of like Mickey Mouse a little bit. Do it again. Yeah, a little bit. That's weird.
Okay, so if you were like a real live montage of this happening, or if this were,
if I was living the montage of this moment?
Yeah, if you were living this montage of the moment, would you choose like a food of like the flour getting thrown at you, or you throwing the flour, or would you do something like a paint fight? A paint fight. Yeah, so the paint fight.
Do those happen?
Yes. It was in the kissing booth.
I don't even remember
They
that.
had a paint fight.
Horrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I would pick neither. Well, I mean, first of all, you always pick a snowball fight because there's nothing to clean up after.
That's a good one too.
Right?
Although, like think about the ice chunks coming at your face. I would pick flour outside of a pandemic.
I mean, the flower is cute until, like you say, 10 minutes later, we don't see this on screen, but a maid walks into that room and just goes, what the fuck happened? Like, who threw all this shit?
Yeah, who has to clean
everywhere?
it up, right? That's the thing. Who has to do the cleaning?
You know what I want? And this is a half-baked idea. Don't you think it would be funny if we had a Hallmark Christmas romantic comedy that just focused on the other people? The people who are, like, a little bit outside the frame. Like that maid who's like, why are people throwing paint here? Or the town mayor who's, like, talking to the event coordinator, and he's like, what do you mean we're flying in a Christmas tree from Switzerland? And she's like, I met a prince in Switzerland, and he's flying a tree in. And he's just like, what happened? And then she's like, and I'm moving to Switzerland with him, and I'm gonna be a princess. Like all those other people who are just, what is happening in the world? While these maniacal people are just living their Christmas romantic comedy life.
You've really thought hard about this.
I mean, not hard enough, but I feel like there's an idea for a
I don't know.
comedy there.
I was gonna say it would be a comedy. I don't think there'd be any romance to it because
No,
you'd
there'd
just be like doing like mini stories about all of the side characters.
No. There would be a love story because it's the guy. It's that one guy who just gets the one scene where he helps his female friend glamp up. Right? There's the, oh my God, you're going on a date with Jason. Like, let's go shopping or something. He is gonna meet the maid who has to clean up the flower fight that she has with Jason, and there's your love story.
You have thought about this.
That was a deep dive. We got
That
way
was
off
a
on a
deep
tangent
dive.
there.
Yes.
Let's
Okay.
get back to the princess switch.
Can we talk about the third addition to this Vanessa Hudgens trifecta? Fiona.
Yeah.
The entire character, which I think Vanessa Hudgens actually wrote the character out, she's outrageous. Her entrance into this movie with her very extra walk, her entire storyline of like being this heiress to her father passing away and getting all this money.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And her assistants, or minions as she calls them, going around to all these balls and things like that and stealing. They even steal toilet paper. That's how poor she is because she spent all of her money. She's just very, very exaggerated. But I guess she had to be different. She had to be very different from the other two, right? You had already established this very prim and proper person, you know, who's going to take over the throne. And then you had this other person who's kind of uptight and, you know, ran a bakery, kind of lived more of a normal life.
So you kind of teed up the three character archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Which one do you think is the closest to Vanessa Hudgens in real life?
Like the one who would own a bake shop, or like the normal life.
So I thought, I had a few thoughts about this. I did think that, and then I watched a video of her doing a BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay.
And she ends up being Fiona, and that's actually who I thought. I'm like, oh, like,
really?
do you follow her on Instagram? There
I
are a few
don't.
moments where I'm like, oh, Vanessa,
Oh, I
sweetheart.
don't.
So apparently she did a quiz and she ended up being Fiona.
Okay, well then, I mean, her building that archetype in her head was perfect.
Which, if you're friends with Vanessa Hudgens in real life, just know that she might consider you a minion. Just throwing that out there.
To do her bidding.
Yeah. That's how she feels about you.
Okay, so then we have Antonio.
Oh, I forgot about Antonio.
Yeah, so who is the chief of staff for Margaret in her new kingdom.
The Duchess of Montenaro.
Yes. Who has fallen in love with her and expresses his love in the form of giving her a bracelet. He seems very suave, smart about, you know, his knowledge of the kingdom and advising her on what she should or shouldn't do and her kind of like moving forward. And I think Margaret's kind of feeling like that might be a good option, especially if Kevin is out of reach.
I mean, I think Antonio was a means to an end in that,
Yeah.
you know, if Margaret and Kevin broke up and then Kevin comes back, we needed somebody kind of in the middle running a little bit of interference to make
Right,
that story more compelling.
Right, it couldn't be too easy.
Couldn't be too easy. So we needed somebody in the middle who was maybe a little bit of a douchebag, maybe had
Totally.
ulterior motives, had an agenda, or something that we find out later.
I think he helps tell the story, right?
Yeah.
He helps guide the story along, especially for her, right? Because really, okay, she's becoming queen. Oh, yeah, there's Kevin. Like,
Oh, yeah, I feel like that's how everybody refers to Oh, there's Kevin again. Poor guy. He was, you know what? Okay, I don't even have this as what should have been, but he should have been more attractive in the sequel, because in the first one he was so hot.
He was hot.
And in this one, it's like, meh,
He was
I'm not
hot.
really seeing it.
And you know what? Stacy goes to see him and says, "Oh, you need to clean up. Like, you can't wear those sweatpants." And I was like, "Yeah, man. Like, you need to
Make 'em
shave.
shave, too.
Like,
Yeah.
cut your hair. Do something with that. Like, and show me your body.
Show me your
Like,
body. Maybe
give me something."
Maybe he stopped working out, not thinking that there was going to be a
Maybe.
sequel, and then they're like, "All right, we shoot in a month," and he's like, "Oh,
Shit.
guys, I don't look
Yeah.
the same anymore."
Okay, so this actually leads into more about Kevin and Margaret. So, okay, they do the switch. They switch again. They've decided that Margaret needs to spend more time with Kevin, and Stacy is going to just hang out and pretend that she's sick, whatever.
Yeah.
So they spend more time together, which doesn't have a whole big part in the movie, actually. Like, I felt connecting with the characters this time didn't go as deep. It was more about the entertainment factor in this one and less about the romance part.
They were probably writing the script, and they were writing all these jokes for how Fiona's going to screw everything up, and then they're like,
Yes.
"Oh, but they do need to. We need the love to be believable again. So we
Right.
do need like one or two scenes where Margaret and Kevin are just hanging out." So
And we need them to switch again, right? Because
Yes.
that's like a big part of the movie. So how do we get them to switch? Oh, okay. Well, Margaret needs to spend more time with Kevin so they can end up together.
the more we talk this out, the more it's clear that that part of it was the afterthought, and they had just written all these jokes, and we're like, "Oh shit, we need them to switch somehow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no point to have a
Yeah.
sequel."
Something that really bothered me in this movie or throughout the movie was Fiona insisting on calling Margaret Maggie Moo
Maggie Moo.
and her cuzzy. That is not nice.
What?
Cuzzy? Oh my God, cuzzy. Hey, cuzzy. Like, I would never call my cousin that. Does anyone else call their cousins cuzzy?
I thought it was kind of cute.
You
Is that
thought it was
bad?
cute?
Wow, I can't believe that I think this is adorable and you hate it.
No, I hate it. I
What's
hate it.
happened to us?
I hate it. Why would like? And it was the way she said it, cuzzy, and I'm like, no, stop saying that. I hate it.
I thought Maggie Moo, Margaret Maggie Moo.
Maggie Moo
cute.
was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't good.
It
It
was
was fine. It was
cute.
there. But cuzzy,
It was
I
endearing.
hate it.
Okay. Wow.
And you didn't mind it, which is insane.
What has happened to us? I gotta stop watching these movies.
Yeah, I think
When do we get to Love Actually? Is that
December 15th.
Oh God. Clearly something's happening when you watch
Clearly.
these movies.
Is your heart growing 2 sizes bigger?
yeah, I'm like,
in the Grinch?
Like, wow. I'm gonna skip the Hallmark episode because I'm afraid of what I might say.
Ooh, don't skip that. So even in the first movie, this happened, and I laughed. I love when they're switched. So the two girls switch, and in this case, it's again Stacy with Edward pretending to be Margaret. They're Stacy's sitting in the chair pretending to be Margaret.
Do the accent when you read this.
Oof. Edward thinks that it's Margaret sitting in the chair when in fact it's his wife. So she says the funniest things to Edward, though, when she's switched. He says that he's going to take a stroll because his wife is sick. And she says, "Ah, yes, a stroll a day keeps the bad weather away. And you don't want to be under the weather when the weather is bad." He just stands there and he's like, what the
That wasn't that bad, actually. I was expecting worse. I feel like there was a little bit of Scottish in there, maybe,
Oh,
but it was
no.
mostly.
for anyone who's from the UK or
We're so sorry.
Scotland, I'm very sorry.
I know. I know the guy who plays Prince Edward is actually from Britain. I think
Oh,
everybody
cool.
else is putting on an accent. When I say everybody else, it's mostly just Vanessa Hudgens. She plays like all the characters.
Yes, she
in this
does.
movie,
Yes,
aside
yes.
from the two love interests and like the lackeys.
Okay, but he is so sweet. Like, his character is so sweet in the movie. Oh my gosh.
Edward got done dirty in this movie, and I'm gonna get to that in my what should have been.
Okay. Can we touch on her accents in this movie? If you know that the actress is not necessarily like stellar or like, 100% in the accent,
Mhm.
And it's usually easier for people with an accent to do an American accent. Like, why not just have that special country in
Have
an
an
American accent? And then you don't have to worry about
Because
it.
they're Montenero, spoiler alert, made up place.
Right.
So is Belgravia.
Right.
But it's more regal.
It's more
because it's
refined.
British.
Yes, you're right.
Us North Americans think of the royal family. I love how there's very little concept that like there are royal families for other countries.
Yes, there
you know,
is.
There's a
Yeah.
Swedish royal family.
Spanish,
still, and
so, like in Spain.
she could have had any number of accents.
Well, I think just in generally, like you'll see a lot of movies when they try to like give accents, it's usually
We just
a
default
British
to
accent.
a British accent.
Yeah. My favorite is when they're doing like historical movies and
Oh,
they sometimes
God.
have American accents, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, could you not do a good British accent? Or if it's like in a different country other than Britain, but they still have a British accent.
So that does bother me. I was
And I'm like,
watching
what?
The Great, the story of Catherine
Oh
the Great.
yes, that's a
who
perfect example.
Was empress for Russia, and I think historically she was originally Polish, and she married Peter. And everybody's got a British accent, and you're like, what the? And they're talking about Russia and how they're going to change Russia, and it's going to be this real like social revolution, but they're all still in British accents.
Yeah.
And I guess the problem there is that a Russian accent is not an attractive way of going about things, but still, it's like it kind of loses me a
Well,
little.
the conversation was probably all in Russian anyway,
Right.
or Polish.
Or Polish, yeah.
It wasn't even in. And Ella Fanning, is it Ella Fanning?
Oh, yeah, Elle Fanning, yeah.
She's American doing
Yeah,
a British accent.
She's okay, so let's play this out. She's an American pretending to be a Russian who's doing a British accent.
Yes.
And the problem is, I actually love Elle Fanning, and I love
Elle
Nicholas
Fanning.
Hoult. He's the other guy.
Oh,
in it.
yes, yes.
And he's great, too. And some of the jokes, like, it's not a bad show, but it just bothered me a little bit, you know? I don't know.
Well, there's your breakdown of The Great and the accents in
Midway
it.
through Princess Switch. If you're looking at The Great, hey, not a bad show, actually. I didn't mind it.
So I like that they involved the old man from the first movie.
God.
And even like they're in a taxi and he's driving and Kevin says, he goes, wait, no, it can't be. I think it kept the magic of Christmas alive in the movie.
I think they screwed up shooting and they put him in later. I know.
Really?
Conspiracy theory Devin is here.
About the Princess Switch too.
But the old guy almost seemed like an afterthought. Like he was in no other scenes in the second movie except for just that one last cab scene. He's also not physically with Kevin and his daughter. They're in the backseat and he's in the front. You can easily edit that in. I think they completely forgot about him and they're like, oh my God, we should bring the old guy back.
Oh my God, I don't think so.
And they shot the old guy
No.
separately from Kevin and his daughter. And they just got Kevin to be like, hey, oh my God, is that who I think it is? He was literally in one scene.
Yeah, but that was to bring them together. So that was the only reason he was in it, was to bring them back together because they had then parted.
I'd like to be on set when that happens. They're shooting something. And they're like,
Oh, shit, we
shit, the
forgot to
old
call
guy.
him. We forgot to call him.
he's sitting at
God.
the airport. Like, are they supposed to pick me up?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. So the whole kidnapping, can we talk about this part of the film? It was such a weird and impossible part of the movie.
So Margaret and Stacy have switched.
Mm-hmm.
And Fiona realizes Margaret's going to become the queen.
With a
And
lot of cash.
She's going to have a lot of cash, so I'm going to switch with her. I'm going to transfer a bunch of money to myself, switch back, and we're going to be good. So
yeah, to some offshore account in the Cayman Islands. Like,
That-
it was so they don't even talk about how she's actually trying to steal money. They never actually get to that part. She just says to her cousin to get off the hook that she wanted to be like her always growing up.
yeah, Fiona getting left off the hook was kind of bullshit.
Yeah, she gets left off the hook, but on the flip side, the real villain turns out to be Antonio, and he gets sent to the freaking dungeons. Even though you're kidnapped with chloroform and kept hostage in the basement of some old house and then have that person try to overthrow the soon-to-be queen,
Yeah.
you're off the hook.
All is forgiven. It's
like,
fine.
as that was happening, I was like, this is not real life. What is
No.
happening here?
Oh, is that the point where you thought this isn't real life? Not when the setting was Belgravia or Montanaro?
Okay.
Sarah's like, oh no, she would go to jail for that, for sure. This is so unrealistic, guys. I can't believe it.
Oh my God. Yes, actually, this is the point in
That's
the movie.
where we lost you. Okay.
I was totally following along that everything, I believed that these places were real. I was really into the movie, and then this happened and I was like, what?
And then Sarah went on Google. She's like, what do you mean it's not real?
She's there at the wedding? Like without handcuffs? So they switch back, all of them, all three of them.
Everybody gets switched back.
Everybody goes back to their normal beans. How do they get to the airport? Oh, she runs after Kevin, after the
She's
magic Christmas guy takes them there.
The magic Christmas guy.
Yeah.
It's like a magic carpet ride, but it's a magic Christmas guy.
Exactly.
He's got a cab.
No carpet needed. We have a cab.
We have a cab instead, and he's the magic Christmas guy. I kind of like that, actually.
Okay, so Margaret makes it to the airport just in time before.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Is his name Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. Before Kevin, I forgot his name for a second.
Yo, the unrealisticness of Fiona not going to jail has thrown you for a loop.
Okay, so Margaret makes it to the airport in time to meet Kevin before he gets on the flight. For some reason, her spontaneity kicks in again, and they're rushed to get married, that they decide right then, when they see a priest in line for probably a sandwich and a bottle of water, they get the priest to do it. Is this spontaneous or just crazy?
It's stupid is what it is.
Okay, I mean, I could add that in there. Is this spontaneous, crazy, or stupid?
Yeah. You know what? The one thing that I will agree with that is realistic is that the priest was so annoyed to be marrying them.
You know what? Good point. Yes, because he probably really wanted to go wherever he was going on his flight.
But like nobody's happy in an airport. People tolerate airports because
I
they
like
help
airports.
What?
Well, I don't mind airports.
Are you kidding me?
It's really great for people watching.
Oh my God. Really? You
Yes.
can go to a mall.
No, it's different.
It's different.
It's different.
You can get deep on an airport. Yeah.
You're there for hours.
Yeah, no, it's true. So I would counterpoint that nobody is happy when they're at an airport.
Yeah, I'm stoked because I'm going somewhere fun.
I am never
You
happy in an
clearly
airport.
don't like. Yeah, but you don't like
despise
flying.
airports.
I like flying.
I tolerate flying, but like I'm not like one of those people who's like gripping the seats.
White knuckled.
Airports are just miserable places.
I don't think so.
Okay. Wow.
I love them for people watching. I think that is the best people watching.
Do you like make up stories for them? Like, ooh,
Yes,
he's
sometimes
a
I do.
investment banker, a high risk investment banker, and he's going
I could
to
basically write a Hallmark
Toledo.
movie out of being at the airport.
That's fun. You should do that. Seeing as you like airports so much, just go to one and write a Hallmark right there.
Okay, it's not like I would go to an airport. I'm only in airports when I'm going places.
Okay. You don't just go there.
No.
They make good burgers
I don't
at the
go
airport, let me
hang
tell
out
you.
there.
It's
Yeah,
like a $30
burger. Quick facts.
Okay, quick facts. What do you got?
Because this movie is so new, I don't have quick facts, but I'm going to do some ridiculous moments from the movie.
Okay.
Decorating that enormous palace of hers, so Margaret's palace, with the help of 5 people. And I noticed, too, that the guards outside were dressed in holiday garb, like nutcrackers or that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that when you're watching it. The fact that all of their bedrooms are big enough, which personally I would love to have a big bedroom like that, but they don't have one Christmas tree. They have 2 Christmas trees. You'll notice in the movie that Stacy and Edward's bedroom have 2 Christmas trees. Who needs 2 Christmas trees in their bedroom? You'd have to water them all the time. Like, you'd have to remember to do that. Driving in a convertible in the winter while it's snowing. Fiona.
Does that happen? I
Yes.
totally missed that.
Fiona has 0 sense in what is sensible. Yes, she is driving a Jaguar convertible with the top down in the middle of winter and it's snowing. Okay, my last one is, why would you not tell your husband about the Switch? And like, why would you not tell sweet, sweet Edward about the Switch?
Do you want to mess up the order a little bit and just do what should have beens right now? Because that is my what should have been.
Okay, sure. I do have another question that goes along with him, though.
Okay.
Wouldn't you be able to tell that it wasn't her? You've been married 2 years.
Well, so Margaret and Stacy swap.
Yes.
And then you're upset that Edward doesn't realize that Margaret and Stacy swapped.
Okay, like, it's twofold. I'm upset that she didn't tell Edward.
Yes.
And I'm upset that he couldn't tell that it was her.
I was about to say, because the bad guy here is Stacy for not telling her husband.
Definitely.
Which should have been. Edward got done dirty. In the first one as well, he was teed up as like Prince Mothballs, I think they call him.
Oh.
Yeah, Margaret despised him.
He was so cute, though.
For what reason? Seemingly for no reason. And then we learn, hey, Edward's actually a really sweet guy. Margaret and Edward aren't really vibing, but like they made him out to be not a great guy. And then in this movie, they switch again. They tell Kevin about it, but not Edward. What's the purpose here? And when he finds out the truth, you get like one sad face. He gets sad for like literally.
He does.
Like a quarter of a scene. A little frown. Ooh.
But I think he's more concerned about what is happening to Stacy, his wife. Which
And
is
that's
super
why
cute.
he is the MVP. He's the what should have been. You should be nicer to Prince Edward.
Okay, so my what should have been, I think Fiona should have ended up with Antonio. I think we can all agree that that is the most obvious answer.
I mean, they're both horrible humans.
They are.
They're a little bit despicable.
Yeah.
They have agendas, and they both need and want money.
I was just about to say, they both need and want money big time.
Okay, best scenes.
So my best scene is the entire kidnapping. So it was such a weird and impossible part of the movie. Like, who has chloroform kicking around their house to kidnap somebody? And Fiona's two partners in crime, her minions, Mindy and Ricky, totally reminded me of the two characters from Home Alone, with the little traps that Stacy sets for them when she's being held captive in the house. One gets hit with a wine barrel and falls. The other flips over into a trunk and it locks itself. Like, you literally can't make this shit up. It's fun, though.
It is fun. Honorable mentions. Vanessa Hudgens. How do we collectively feel about her?
Okay, so she's my honorable mention.
What?
Yes.
Do you want to go first then?
So she's my honorable mention for playing the three characters in this film, and in my opinion, pulling them off so well. Because Fiona was just such an outrageous character that I was like, oh, like, I don't like her. But you were supposed to really not like her in this movie. And it was really well done. And then, you know, Princess Margaret, or Queen Margaret now, I really liked her. And I really liked Stacy. Like, she did a really good job developing the characters, I find, over the two movies.
Walking into this, I thought she was going to be horrible because, like, she's been a little bit problematic on her Instagram at times. She did, Spring Breakers, High School Musical. She had that DC show Powerless.
Oh, yes, I liked that show. I was sad it got canceled.
Yeah, it was around for like 5 minutes. She wasn't too bad in this. And this was probably a really hard role because we have a character with an American accent, we have a British accent, then we have a more annoying British accent. And then there's also the fact that she was probably acting with nothingness for a lot of these shoots. Like any scene where it's a combination of Stacy, Margaret, Fiona, any number of those two or three together in a scene, it was likely that there was like a piece of tape on the ground and she's talking to where a person would be where it's supposed to be her on the other side. Like,
that's a good point, Jen.
She did a good job. I'm not saying like Martin Scorsese has her on the phone for her next lead. She was good.
There's Factor.
Do we need to do all the Vanessa Hudgens?
I did Vanessa Hudgens, all three of them. 7.9 out of 10.
Oh, like combined.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give Stacy the 8.2.
Okay.
Fiona the 7.5.
All right.
And Margaret's in the middle. Prince Edward.
8.6.
Whoa, he's hot.
I really like him.
What, really?
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a knob, no?
Well, I mean, the fact that he didn't know who his wife was, it did.
That bothered you?
I was just like, come on, man. Like, how do you not, though? Like, you already been through this once. Are you not suspicious that this is happening again when they're together? The last time they were together, they switched.
That's a good point.
You're talking to her and she's talking about a stroll a day keeps the weather away.
You'd
like,
be
really?
a little suspicious,
right?
Yeah. Rewatchability.
And then Kevin.
Oh, Kevin gets the thirst factor. I forgot about Kevin. Yeah. Oh, poor guy's so forgettable.
So I probably would have given Kevin, like, let me do an 8.2.
Okay, 8.2 first
8.2 first movie, 7 second movie.
Whoa.
Yeah.
An even 7.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Rewatchability. In the holiday movie world, 7.5 out of 10.
So you might rewatch this next Christmas.
Yes, I will. In the normal rom-com world, 5.5, because there was more entertainment than rom.
And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of The Princess Switch and The Princess Switch 2. Switched again. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts if that is where you are listening right now. Leave a review. Like we said, we love those. We love to read them at the beginning of our podcast. Follow us on Spotify if that is where you're listening. And follow us on Instagram at Romcom Rewind.
Thanks for listening.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.